Hey everyone, Tim the Dartman, back with week number 4 of my NFL picks. Now, how well have I done up to this point? Well, after 3 weeks, right, after 48 games, 36 and 12, which is 3 out of 4. Pretty damn good percentage, if I don't say so myself. Really proud of that, and first week 11 and 5, second week 14 and 2, third week 11 and 5 again. So let's see what we can do this week. I'm hoping I can keep up that percentage, that 12 win percentage. But let's find out. The first game is going to be a doozy. So the first game, Seahawks at the Cardinals. And this is an interesting game. It's going to be a good game. It's tonight on Thursday. And usually I get these videos out on Wednesday, but spent some time at Disney World yesterday. So that was good. And what I think is going to happen here is that you're going to see a really good game, but what's going to prevail, and what often prevails in a lot of these close games, is who's playing at home, who has a home field advantage here. And I think the home field advantage is going to be the difference. I think you're going to see the Seahawks lose to the Cardinals 24-21. But a really good game to watch if your team isn't on tonight, which still be a good game to watch. So Thursday night game, Cardinals are going to take this at home over the Seahawks, 24-21. So the next game is going to be an interesting game as well. And I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. You're going to have the Vikings going into Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. And I think what you're going to see here is you're going to see a game that's going to want a lot of offense, but not get it. I think the Steelers are going to hold the Vikings down to probably 2 touchdowns. That being said, I think what you're going to see here is maybe a 17-14 win, Steelers over the Vikings at home. I think the Vikings are probably favored. Don't know, I haven't really looked, but Steelers should take this one. So the next game is the Commanders going into Atlanta to play the Falcons. And I think in this game, it's going to be a closer game than what you would expect because of the records, right? Commanders do have a good team, but the Falcons also have a good team, and a better team than the record, I think. So I think what you're going to see is you're going to see a game where the Commanders are going to go in, and it'll probably be close for 3 quarters, and then you'll see the Commanders just pull away. I think win by maybe a touchdown. Let's say Commanders 28, Falcons 21. That's what I think. So the Chargers at the Giants. So this one is one that should not really be close at any point. I know I said that last week about a game and I was way off. It was close the whole game, and that was the Buccaneers game. But this week, you're seeing the Chargers going to the Meadowlands to play the Giants, and the Chargers should handle this one easily. I'm thinking 31-14. Probably Chargers will remain undefeated and go from there. Texans, Titans. So the Titans at the Texans is the next game. And Titans, not a great team for sure. And the Texans are a good team. They've just been on the bad luck side of the record this year. And I think this is going to be a much closer game than what many may think. I think many may think that the Texans are going to kind of pull away with this one, but I think it's going to be much closer. Well, that was terrible. I think what's going to happen here is you're going to see the Texans win, and they're going to win by a lot, but not like what some people may think, 3-4 touchdowns. I think you're going to see 28-13, somewhere along those lines. Texans will win the game, but it should be a little closer than people think, at least for the beginning of the game. All right, the next game, the battle of the undefeated. So 2 3-0 teams. The Eagles going in to play the Buccaneers. Both teams had their issues last week. I think the Buccaneers had more issues, a lot of penalties, and both teams were behind late in that game. Now, they both found a way to come out and get the win. But I think in this case, what you're going to see is you're going to see the beat-up Buccaneers just not quite have enough to get by the Eagles this time during the year. I think later on when they play, maybe get more people back. Maybe the Eagles have some people injured. You know, it works that way. But I think this week, it pains me to say that the Eagles will beat the Buccaneers 21-17. I really hope I'm wrong, but I got to go with my gut. So the next game, Panthers at the Patriots. Panthers pulled out a surprise win last week, and I think the Patriots lost last week, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's going to turn around this week. The Patriots should take this game from the Panthers, especially playing at home. They just got a better team, period. They're better coached. And I think what you're going to see here is a 24-10 Patriots over the Panthers. Next game, Saints, or the Aints, as some call them, at the Buffalo Bills. If you want to talk about an upset that would just make everybody say, wow, I didn't see that coming, pick another game, because it's not going to be this game. This is going to be a runaway. The Bills should take this 35-14. I don't think the Saints will really get to 14, but let's, put the magical football gods in there and say something happens on a pick six or God knows what, block field goal. We saw enough of those last week. But I think it'll be the Bills the Bills 35, Saints 14. Next game, Browns against the Lions. So the Browns pulled out a surprise win last week, and good for them. Bad organization, so anytime they can get a win like that, hey, take your hats off to them. It won't happen this week. They won't pull out a surprise win. They'll pull out a not surprising loss. And I think what you're going to see here is the Lions 28, Browns 17, somewhere in there, give or take. But I think what's going to happen is that the Lions are going to just let off the gas just a little bit as the game goes on, because they're not going to need to keep the pedal to the metal. But Lions 28, Browns 17. Next game, Jaguars at the 49ers. Now, this will be a fun game, Jaguars at the 49ers. I think what you're going to see here is a really close game, and maybe down to the final minutes. Like we've seen a lot this year in a lot of games. But I think what's going to happen is you're going to see the 49ers come out on top. They're at home against the Jaguars. I think 21-20, somewhere in there. But should be a good game to watch. Next game is the Colts and the Rams. Now the Colts are undefeated as well. And I think that's more of a matter of who they've been playing as opposed to them being a really good team. I think the Colts are a good team. They're just not a really good team. And the Rams have been playing very well lately. I think the Rams probably should have won that game last week against the Eagles, but they didn't. And I actually picked the Eagles to win, so I'm glad. But this week, the Rams will win this game. I think it's going to be 28-14. The Colts will take their first loss of the season. Next game, the Bears at the Raiders. Now, the Bears played a pretty good game last week, right? Raiders are at home. I think what you're going to see here is a Raiders team come out at home with a winning attitude and playing just enough to get the W. I think it's going to be the Raiders 24, the Bears 17. Should be a good, exciting game. All right. Speaking about exciting games, right? The Ravens at the Chiefs. You know, I didn't pick the Ravens to win last week. And I gotta tell you, they should win this week pretty handily. They should win probably by, I think I got them by 17 points over the Chiefs, and that's with the Chiefs at home. Lamar and gang is just a better football team than the Chiefs this year. And this game, you know, could be one of those where it's 7-7, you know, maybe 14-14, and then all of a sudden, you know, Lamar and gang pull away and take it. And I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to win by, you know, 17 points, and the Chiefs are going to be 1-3. So not a good start. They won last week against a really bad Giants team. They're not going to do that this week. They just don't have it in them. So next game is the Packers at the Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Not a good team. Not a good team. Green Bay Packers, should they have lost last week? No, they shouldn't. They played terribly. Will they win this week? Abso-freaking-lutely they'll win this week. They'll win by a lot. I think what you're going to see here is the Packers 38, the Cowboys 14, and it'll be a sleeper. Don't even watch it. Don't even watch it. Unless you're one of those Cowboy fans that watches and then gets their hearts ripped out every game. Jets and Dolphins. So here is the battle of the unwinners. Here's the battle of the teams that haven't won a game yet. The Jets and the Dolphins. And what do we have to say about this? The Jets played fairly well against the Buccaneers last week. I mean, it had that blocked field goal, return for a touchdown, that put them in the lead with under 2 minutes to go, but they didn't win the game. I think the Buccaneers put themselves in a position to lose that game last week from their, you know, many penalties, from shuffling the offensive line because of injuries. But this week, I really think that the Jets will remain in the loss column. No wins, and the Dolphins will get their first win of the season. So probably looking at 24-20, somewhere in there. And then the last game of the week is the Bengals at the Broncos. And the Monday night game, Bengals, you know, quarterback injured, so backup quarterback in there, going, you know, into the Broncos, and they just don't have enough to take it. They really don't. They've got a good team other than the quarterback, but quarterback's pretty important in football, right? So I think what you're going to see here is the Broncos take the game 28-21, win by a touchdown, and I think predicting the win-loss for this, you know, it seems like a fairly easy week to pick wins, so I'm hoping that somewhere in that 12 win column, but let's see what happens. 12 wins would keep me on that same percentage, but hoping to do a little bit better, hoping I get one wrong, hoping I get the Buccaneers score wrong, and they pull it out, but let's see. Tim the Dart Man, again, if you like this, please do like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the games that you think I messed up, and let me know your thoughts on who you think is going to be the undefeated teams after week 4. Take care, guys.